Here recently, we've seen some ominous earth changes. Some would say end time signs, as we've had devastating weather events happening all across the globe. Some others would suggest that this is being manipulated and that certain groups have a hand in what is happening right before your very eyes. And it's no secret, we can all walk outside, look up in the sky, and you'll see them spraying left and right all over the place. We are also at a moment in time where we are in a 1,200-year drought on the West Coast, which continues, and what they're calling a 1,000-year flood that just occurred on the East Coast. Now, the details and how this all came about is very interesting. And it's also interesting how, I stated before, I feel like they're controlling these things, steering them specifically for certain reasons. There's this big blob in the North Atlantic that I've spoke about before. And what has happened is, as this storm came through, there was something very unique that happened that many people did not catch. And it was that there was an arm that extended out of this vortex, as you'll see here in this next frame, that is completely unnatural. This dumped immense amounts of water into South Carolina by design, and as you can see, all the rest of the regions here around did not have that moisture. What is interesting is right above this big cold blob, which is exactly where the hurricane is heading toward now, they were spraying with chemtrails just for days. This whole blanket of chemtrails, which I'm about to show you here in this next clip, or one of the next clips here, right here. All of that, and that's seen from space. That's how bad it is. So yeah, you're not crazy if you're seeing these in the skies, for sure, when you can see these things from space all the way across the ocean. And what this did is it shifted. You can't tell here. Well, you can. You can see the lines here. This is all over this cold region, this huge cold blob up here in the North Atlantic. And now this hurricane seems to be shifting right up toward that spot, while this huge blanket that they created sits there. So you can see right here in front of us the weather manipulation happening. And when you see an event like this going down, it's completely unnatural. I mean, does it look natural to you with everything that we've witnessed? I mean, the combination of factors required to create such a concentrated flow of moisture over such a distance is completely unprecedented in itself. And what is the craziest part is that this did this for 3 days. It sat here like this. So you have to ask yourself, what are they doing out here? And knowing that they were spraying out here ahead of this, and it seems like this thing shifted literally overnight, and then this happened and sat like this for 3 days, extended out. It's like pulling all the moisture out of the hurricane and pointing it to one spot with like some kind of energy, some kind of like tractor beam, if you will, and pulling it up into one area. How they're doing it? Well, with all this weather warfare equipment, HARP, all these other technologies where they're hitting the upper atmospheres with heat, and they could hit the eye of this hurricane with a burst of heat and fire it up. They can do all types of things, and they're hitting the East Coast for sure, with not only Sandy, but now this most recent one. And if there's another one coming down the pike, I'd be paying attention to that one too. Off of either coast, I'd be paying attention to all these weather events with a good eye, especially with what we're seeing now and these patterns that we're seeing that are definitely not natural. I'll leave a link. It's been Dabu7. Eyes to the skies.